Oh, and again, this my wavy hand, Claudia, you will be laughing because I swear every single show that I'm going to change this welcome note because this white hand, she's really so snowy and all love with this hand like this is really, and I'm joking so much, and it always sets already like so positive vibrations in the studio. So welcome to Diversity is the Game Changer. I'm
Thank
so
you.
privileged and happy today. I have really diversity in my studio. 10 minutes ago, it was Marcus Ogden with this powerhouse energy, and we were talking about national football team and the power of resilience, more manly side, manly stuff. And now I am so happy that I can wrap up with my dessert with this beautiful, beautiful lady. And we will be talking, of course, like also about deep stuff, but more like a girlish stuff. And even when I'm watching, I'm already like breathing, like posing, not reacting, but responding, like so beautiful. I just basically, actually, you know what I did? I changed my glasses. I was like 10 minutes ago, I was like this. Now I'm just basically like this, and I change even one earrings. Some small life hacks to the girls who's actually hosting the show. You don't need to make this transformational change. It's sustainable way to approach the fashion. You don't need to be into fast fashion, right? And buy all the time new stuff.
Yeah, but
And
great
episode title,
fashion.
Claudia. First of all, can you please tell me if I pronounce correctly? It's Claudia Patricia Eusse, or how you call
Yes. Else. Uh-huh.
Oh, oh, okay. So it actually for me it sounds a little bit from Europe. From
Yes. It's
okay,
French. It's French.
okay, perfect. Yeah, and I named this episode "Leading with Soul, Power, and Purpose." A conversation with Claudia Patricia Eusse. Beautiful. And in this powerful episode, I'm honored. Like I said, I'm an extraordinary global humanitarian leader and mentor. So some leaders build businesses, some build movements, and some build human dignity back into the world. I'm talking about you, my dear.
Thank you.
In this deeply transformational episode, I welcome a woman whose work transcends borders, languages, and systems. Claudia is not simply an international leader, psychologist, and philanthropist. She is a guardian of human potential, a bridge builder between cultures, a fierce defender of children's rights and women's dignity, a woman who has turned compassion into structured impact. With more than 20 years devoted to human development, you started in kindergarten. I think you were young, like when I was like, what, 20 years? What does she mean, actually? Yeah. Human development, social equity, and conscious leadership. She stands at the intersection of emotional healing and strategic empowerment. So her leadership is not performative. It's lived, embodied, and tested in the most vulnerable spaces of society. As founder and president of the Children's Love Foundation, she has protected and uplifted children through education, nutrition, emotional development, and social inclusion, restoring not only rights but hope. Through successful women's foundation, she has mentored and more than 15,000 women into economic independence, leadership awareness, and global visibility. Oh my God, when do you have time for doing all this? Wow, I'm so impressed. I'm so honored.
Thank
She's
you.
the author of Love in My Soul, a reflection of inner reconciliation and self love as the foundation of sustainable leadership, and the visionary behind the Game Changers global platform, elevating those transforming our world. But beyond this title, beyond the words, beyond the global forums, once there was a little girl whose story shaped the global mission. And exactly from this little girl and her story, we are beginning our show today. Can you please tell us about your roots, about because behind every powerful woman, the story that shaped her resilience, and everything starts always from our childhood. Could you please take us backwards there? And if you believe it was some special episodes or facts or maybe people or experience or occasions that really changed or impact your mindset, so please feel absolutely welcome and free to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be with your community and to share my story. What I like to do is be able to embrace other women. I didn't come from a very I did had a loving childhood, but my father unfortunately passed away when I was a little girl. So I
Mm,
was, 3 years old. So my mother, she as an immigrant came here to the United States and had to be start working. But, when you don't know the country, you don't know the language, it comes to a moment that, after a couple of years, she got into also into a let's say, a very vulnerable moment for her. So she was not really being able to provide for us. So I had to start working since I was almost 13 years old, selling chocolates from
mhm,
door to door. It was a high school program here it was actually in California. So those moments, ever since he died, seeing the resilience of my mother, and had a very, hard childhood, toxic childhood, I said, I need to help myself, right? So when I started getting to my teenager life, I said, okay, I didn't have time like other teenagers to have a normal life, to have parties and go here, and I didn't was able to do that. That's why I started studying so young because I knew I had to help myself. I didn't have and now sometimes it happens to me that I don't get to enjoy so much, but I'm learning to be more in the present moment
mhm,
because I'm always thinking about the future. So
mhm,
this is why I started studying, psychologist and biocoding because I needed to be able to root myself in the present moment and
mhm,
heal my past and sending, love to my parents, to my father because, you're a little girl, you feel abandoned because
mhm,
he died. So, but and as a little girl, those feelings are like abandoned
mhm,
abandoned scars. So for me, it was like he left me. So healing that process was very important for me. And also the side of my mother. My mother is always a resilience woman, always very hardworking, and she always tell me, be ready for opportunities. You always have to prepare yourself, be studying. But then in the moment that it was a fragile moment for her, we had to go back to my country, to Colombia,
mhm,
and there it was also a shocking experience, right? Because just arriving to the country,
mhm,
seeing chickens on the street, seeing cows, just looking at normal nature, it was like unbelievable for me and my sister because we're like, what are we doing here in this country? We didn't know, we understood Spanish, but we didn't speak it that well. But thank God when we got there, we were able to speak it. So all those shocking moments that for me were hard moments, toxic moments, have helped me also look for ways of bettering myself,
mhm,
always been working. So I'm always like, I sometimes I have to go more into my feminine side, which I'm also working on it internally because we are so hard to be providers that we are forgetting the role of the man. We have to let the man take that role. And I started studying psychology and biocoding like almost 7 years ago because I was getting sick
mhm,
a lot. I had like a benign tumor. I had several health issues, and I said this is not normal. So then I started going into deep um, meditation, hypnosis, with all these studies that I was doing to be able to understand my body, but and also to understand my mind. How was my subconscious bringing back all these traumatic realities that were in my head and creating all this roller coaster
mhm,
spirals in my life. And that's how I got to actually with my book. It was very releasing for me because it was like a diary. I was expressing myself, letting go of those memories and also sharing my story because I know I had hard times, but I know a lot of women like in your country, in Ukraine, in Russia, a lot of countries that are going through a lot of hard situations. there's also very vulnerable moments. And I believe that if we share our stories when they are asked, we able to help other women and men to overcome so many difficulty situations that we have.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, I'm so thankful for sharing your honest and bold story, and I can relate 100% with your childhood because mine was also quite challenging. And I started working like you when you mentioned 13 years old was exactly the age I started working, and I didn't have the opportunity to have normal childhood, and still I'm kind of catching. And people like, oh, how you were when you was kid or childhood, your Christmas, your birthday, your party. Said no, I didn't have my childhood. Actually, I still find so much small joy in really small kiddish stuff. Like, I'm trying to fill this um, small holes which has been taken from me, and I'm sure that later I just understood that this inner child was kind of hungry all my life. Yes, and we have this trauma that we cannot just really push so deep inside and like to make or kind of pretend that it has never happened to us. We have actually to stop one day really and go, especially very deep, not all the time just towards the future, but back, because all our roots lay there, like you said brilliantly, Claudia. You had to go through hypnotized session and a lot, like it's therapeutical tools to understand what's actually going on, because it's our background, it's our roots, it is actually this highway we are driving automatically our brain all our lives, these patterns, right? And we have to understand where they come from to be able to change them. We have to first actually to determine these patterns, what it is, and start redesigning consciously, right? So because I know this saving mode always taking care about your not just tomorrow but the day after tomorrow. I have the same still, even still I always like, on this mode of survival mode. And then even if I achieve something, I forget to celebrate it. I would still believe I am not worthy. It's not actually allowed to be happy. We are here just to work hard and to serve, but not to be happy. And so I'm trying actually to, like you teach myself every single day, to celebrate like even small, moments which maybe they're not special for somebody, but we should put this special meaning onto them by ourselves, right? So it's a kind of tremendous hard job.
It is a very hard situation for us. But like now with everything that I'm doing, the mentorings and the coaching that is going online, I have different courses where we have to go to our subconscious mind and go through our ages between when we were born to 7 years old, right?
Mhm.
And kind of heal it ourselves. We don't have to go to expensive, psychologist or coach, but we could do is just go back to those moments where you had a hard time, a hard situation.
Mhm.
Just remember that moment and send it your vibe of love. So there's different ways that we could do it to start healing little by little those episodes. And when we're like you say, we don't celebrate. It happens to me sometimes. I'm like, oh, I have no appointments, or I feel kind of guilty that I'm sitting in bed or I'm enjoying, maybe if I have time to go to the beach and I don't do it and I'm here with the ocean. So it's learning to always learning to be our inner child, to have fun, to celebrate our advances in life, to celebrate that we did maybe a new business, or we met somebody, or we're going to on vacation. Just letting us know that our we could as exercise that I do, and I teach about it more profound in the seminar, is telling your inner child, okay, we are going to go celebrate after I do this business, or after I accomplish this. Say if you're studying something or you have a goal, and tell your inner child, now I am the adult.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am taking care of you. Because then you let the inner child relax, and because he's always on survival mode, right? Because that's what we were used to. But
Yeah.
inside of us, that's how it's all the time on this moon. But if we tell him, listen, we're adults now, we could take care of you, but let me be the adult, and when we have fun, we'll go have fun. So it's learning to integrate them, but also say,
Mhm.
okay, now the inner child, you're safe with me. I'm an adult, I'll take care of you. No need to be more on survival mode, or don't think that, don't try to relax those maybe anxious or panic attacks, letting
Mhm.
them know that we're there for them. And it's just expressing ourselves more, and enjoying the moments.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much that you are immediately giving the practical tools, because so many people, now they have so many sources, they have access to so much information that, how sometimes it's really overwhelming and you don't know where to start. It's a lot of apps, coaches, mentors. Now I kind of feel it's overkill, it's trendy, and so many people really account themselves to be this, and it's also very risky to get trapped, and start like following a path of people. We should teach them, you and me, also our audience, to be selective, radically selective, because you should really feel that anything what's going on in your life, and you have mentors, you have coaches, but it should be aligned with your authenticity, with your energy, with your heart, right? You should really feel inside that now it's holistic approach. You should feel it's with your mind, soul, and body. It's actually basically what yoga means, because you know yourself that yoga, everybody believes it's about sitting in very special position, like many okay, not hours but minutes, but yoga is actually unity, right? It's balance between body, mind, and soul. And I'm so happy that you started already giving the very concrete and useful tools for people, what they can do, how they can approach these situations. And can you then just please continue tell more about the courses, about this, your coaching programs, and the directions actually, and how you came to this point, um, and maybe audience, yes, who can
Yeah,
reach
I
you?
came to this. Actually, this is a technique very antique. It's it started with Carl Jung, one of the biggest psychiatrists.
Yeah.
But with all the new techniques of health, it kind of went under the rug. They don't
Mhm.
want, sometimes they don't want people to really heal. I'm saying, you okay, it's good, okay, if you have to take a medicine, okay, but before taking so much medicines, let's try an organic approach to you, right? Learning how to release those tension moments, how
Mhm.
to release those panic attacks, or those repeating situations that you say, okay, I did so much money, and then it used to happen to me. Oh, I made so much money, and then I find myself 1 or 2 months later with no money. What happened? Where did it go? So when we learn to eh, heal our inner child and make peace with our parents, we are able to scale in abundance. We're able to scale in more opportunities, because sometimes when the inner child, it feels like it's not seen, it's not being heard, it goes into the victim mode. And
Mhm.
when you go into the victim mode, you cannot heal, those relationships cannot improve, or
Mhm.
the financial ceilings, right? You feel like you have no voice. So, learning to heal this through the process, it helps us to become more solid in our businesses, and also heal our wounds, so we don't repeat patterns,
Mhm.
because that's what happens. And then what I do on the course that I have online, that is actually launching today, between today and this week.
Oh,
I did.
congratulations. So we are at the really forefront.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I made something. I made it like very economical, so everybody could just go in and do little by little each course and start healing. Because I found this, thank God, because I was guided to, right, because I was getting all these health issues. But then I see myself, my improvement in the last 7 years. I've been able to heal myself. And every time, I'm not saying that it's going to be like a magical wand, because we're in this life and we're learning through process. But what you do not make aware, it will repeat like in history.
Mhm.
So it could be shown. So if it's not known, you could not heal it.
Exactly.
So this is like what I want to people to start healing themselves, so they could do better with their families, with the kids, the children, financially and emotionally. Because I believe that there's like we were talking before, there's so much social media now
Mhm.
that people think that that's the reality, and it's not. And it's making people think that this is everything. And I'm not saying not to enjoy. Of course, we all like money. I love, now I'm learning to say I love money. We love money. We love, because we're able to do things for us and for our families and our communities and the world, but also to heal ourselves. When we heal ourselves, we're happy. We're able to transmit that happiness to somebody else. And if somebody sees you, oh, why you feel so good, or why you're doing good, and you're like, oh, do this. And sometimes people um, don't learn just by you telling them. They have to do their own work, their own experience. And I have learned, before, when I started learning all this, I was like, you would tell me, oh, this is wrong with me or with somebody. I will come and tell you what to do. But people need to ask, because
Mhm.
if not, you go into their karma section. You go into their situations, because they didn't ask you for help.
Mhm.
So that's why I created this course, because people say, "Oh, how did you do?" And I start saying, "Okay, no, there has to be a transition. Okay, you pay and you get knowledge, because if not, you're whatever. Sometimes it's too free. You don't think it's value, unfortunately."
Yeah.
Like like right now we're talking and we're giving value information, and some people say, oh no, but it's, I say to people, first research, of course, who is the person telling you this, what's their background story, and that if you feel connected with them. Because connection is also very important, that you feel that you have this understanding, this emotional languages that could connect, and that way you're able to also bond better and help yourself.
Thank you so much. You gave so clear guidance. I even for me, I'm really appreciating every single show, because first of all, I do strongly believe in every interconnections. There is no coincidence. It's a lot of new knowledge, and I'm always trying to have this beginner's mind. One of the categories, from mindfulness, it's to be flexible and to be adaptable to gain new knowledge. But for that, you should really have this open-minded approach, and to be able to understand that in every single interaction we are both students and teachers. We can give so much uh, impactful, important knowledge to each other. But like you said, unfortunately, it's true. So many people psychologically, subconsciously, they don't put value in something which is actually given them for free. Then immediately they respond, then it doesn't have any value, right? So it's how our brain works, and we know that. So it's very important that you immediately precise it why it is like that. And actually, people also have to have some clear guidance and boundaries. And I do love that you brought this subject, Patricia, that it is so true that so many people, they have to come to reach the point themselves that they need help. Then they have to really I identify what kind of help they need, and they have to come to the right position in their life and even time to ask about this help, because I've been doing so much, I believe, good stuff before by helping people so many times without actually they've been asking me. And when I gave this help, even they were kind of um, rejective, or I didn't get much rewards, though I didn't do it for reward, but I didn't understand why they didn't like it, why didn't they appreciate it. But now I understand more and more that to take into their karma, it is their life path to go through that. They have to find themselves how to deal with this situation, right? Because, and I believe from my point of view, this would be right for this person, but this person can actually feel even less self-worth if I'm coming with all this authority to save this person who actually gave me authority to be a saver, right?
Okay, this is something I teach in my classes and my courses and when I give conferences, because we want to become the savior of the
Mm-hmm.
person. You said the right word. Now, how does Superman and Superwoman end all the time?
Exactly.
How do they end? Alone.
Alone, yeah.
Because everybody's
Being
gathering the family
somewhere blurry, but alone, not in.
alone because they go and try to help everybody, save everybody. They're having a dinner, they're having this special moment with the family. Somebody calls for emergency and they go running to go save somebody else.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they're forgetting their inner child. They're forgetting themselves
Mm-hmm.
because they're not being present. So I say, okay, I'm not saying not to help, but I'm saying don't overstep on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't go running after somebody. Say, okay, can I do this at this moment? Because they came to interrupt my moment.
Mm-hmm.
So start giving ourselves priority. That we forget to say, I am first.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I noticed because you have a very when we talked before, I noticed you have a very good heart, and you're like, no, I got to do this. But I have learned to say, like, when we were a little kid, no, this is
No.
not the moment. I have to heal I have to need time for myself. I need to do this. And it's good to say it with love. Say, you know what, this is not the right moment. Let's do it this. Give ourselves that space because we are priority. And when we start giving ourselves priority, our everything is like a magnet. People will come to us that will give us our priority, and we will start attracting what we want, and what we need. So I have learned this. When you start saying, okay, it's not that you're selfish, but okay, I am grounding myself that I need to be here present for me, and then everybody else. Because if you're not healthy, if you're not present, what can you really give and help out?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So what I'm teaching myself every day, to set boundaries, like healthy boundaries. People who really understand that, they would be respecting you even more for your boundaries, because then you showcase in them that they have also authority to build their boundaries, and then it's healthy relationship, right? It's not about selfishness, it's really about priority, because we have
Correct.
certain amount of energy per day, and we have our families, our kids, friends. Now I have refugee parents, a lot of what actually, and in all of that I also should find time for myself. And then it's not of the place of scariness, or guiltiness. We have to say, yes, I will be doing also that, right? It should be when you feel really abundance. Oh, I really want to, and I have capacity to do it, or no, I my boundaries, I'm sorry here. And if you don't want to respect them, then maybe it's not the right person anyway to have interaction, because she or he will not in the first place respect you, and what you're doing. But I'm okay, I'm in theory, I can talk a lot, but I'm still in practice. I have to do a lot of job, and everybody has to do, because this is small tiny steps, right?
Small tiny, yeah, little by little, small tiny steps. When you see it, they make a big improvement. Now that you say refugees, I remember when I family will come, from different parts from Colombia, different to my house, and I will provide everything for them. And then I remember one lady told me, the mother actually of somebody said, you know what, you have to tell them to go work, to start being productive, because we are sheltering them so much that we are not giving them their space to grow and to be productive. So I learned that too, and I was not being I was actually not helping them. So and I was putting all this hardship on me, so it's also important that you say, okay, I give you help, and when you put limits, okay, I help you for 1 2 months, and then this is what I recommend that you could do, and tell them, okay, when you start saying, okay, you have 1 2 months, you're giving them already a time frame for them to go out and do their own stuff, or start looking for resources. You could give them some resources, but they have to take action. This is also something that we got to do, because it's like when you give the you don't teach them how to fish. This is something we say here in America. You got to, you can't give them the fish, you got to teach them how to fish.
Exactly, exactly. I know this expression. I love it so much because it's not a sustainable way at all. One fish, two, three, four. It's like you said that actually you're taking also the opportunity for them to self evolve, self develop, and self growth, right? And the
Yes.
fish will be finished for the fish anyway. But how they can sustain afterwards. Exactly. So I would like to take a little bit more focus on this special type of diversity I'm very passionate about. It's cognitive diversity, and you are in cognitive psychology and neurodiversity. It's maybe new term for many people still. That's why I'm repeating sometimes in my new shows. It's so simple. It's just diversity of our brains, that our brain are different, unique, perceive this information and evolve differently. And that's, I mean, it's a power, it's a beauty, it's how in togetherness we can actually thrive and survive and really find the solution for global challenges. But still we have a lot of taboo, stigma, prejudice against people with mental uniqueness. We just call them, and how I was called many years, a person with disorder, disability, broken, not good enough, everything, because I have OCD, neurodivergence, and sometimes really severe episodes. And even my podcast, which how jokingly I call Pishcast, I started in my pajama in mental institution last year. I was 4 weeks for OCD treatment. So, what do you think? How we can make more inclusive societies, not just on papers, but for people who, and now more and more people actually identified with disorders or spectrum conditions, right?
The thing is, it happened to me too. I did, in my book I share the story.
Mm-hmm,
I did a process called ayahuasca, right, that it was and and I told my experience, and when I told my experience, they thought I was going nuts, I was going crazy, and they just sent me to a mental institute. And at that time I said, okay. It was for only 3 days, but still for me it was a very hard moment. I'm like, for sharing my story I ended up here, or for having a panic attack they just overreacted and send you to this place. But they have to understand that every brain reacts different, every person, some we use more emotionally, analytical, visually, we have patterns. But um people are very judgmental.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
They don't come and say, okay, if you're having a panic attack, why are you feeling this? Let's sit down, let's talk, instead of just you know judging you right away and sending you to a place that they're just going to be giving you medicines for 1 or 2 weeks, or in some countries for months, and then they really will mess up the
mm-hmm.
brain system. They will really start, unless the person is really rooted to themselves, they'll be able to say, okay, no, I'm fine. This is what happened, and let me better talk to a psychologist, or let me do a section of biocoding. So it's just being aware of yourself. That's why we also need to take time for ourselves and say, okay, this is the space that I need to heal myself and to aware. And what makes you relax? Maybe it's walking or doing exercise or just, but being on yourself, taking care of your health and your brain. And sometimes I do say, okay, it's good to share, but do not overshare with somebody that is not in the mental capacity to really listen to you and understand what you're going through.
Exactly. Exactly. I understand. I can totally relate. That's why. But also I'm teaching myself then actually the people not in the right stage and state in their life, and even visibility, like you have through your courses, and of course you are also influenced and you have strong presence on social media, and always visibility, it's responsibility, and then it's both sides, right? It can attract a lot of positive comments and reactions, but also a lot of negative feedback, and we kind of uh, engine like this that if you don't practice yourself, so you can react immediately. But now even now I'm teaching myself just to proceed the information, give like really feedback, like should I really invest my energy and time in those type of comments that people then they are not in this the same level of awareness in their life, and this is now it's not my problem, right? So then of course I try to be selective and do not put my attention into interaction with these people, because I cannot be loved by everybody, and actually we don't have to. Then if we try to be liked by everybody, then we totally lose ourselves, then we don't know who we are, right?
Yes, that happened to me a long time ago. You were trying to please so much everybody that you're trying to make everybody happy, that you're forgetting about yourself. And remember, some people could be critical. It's because they're not happy with what's going on in their life.
Exactly.
So everything I say, okay, if we get this comment, okay, you could read it, but then don't, unless if it triggers you or makes you upset, there is something there. It's a mirror that it is that you are being generating this feeling. But
Mhm.
at the same time, it's like, okay, they said this, okay, how do I feel about this comment, and how true is it? Maybe I could better myself on this, or if it doesn't really have nothing to do with me, I just forget about it and let it go. Learning to let go and accept the people for what they are, because some people are just very miserable with their life, and they and it's hard for me to say this, but you tell them, listen, why don't we do this? Let's try to have this conversation, or let's have this activity,
Mhm.
because some people don't like to talk. So that's why I say, let's integrate your inner child. Let's do an activity that will connect you with that, to let your aggression out, or your judgmental for other people. So if when we learn all these processes, it helps us. But um, some people are just very hard to please, and I have learned this very hard way, that some people, no matter what you do, you could jump up and down, you could do everything for them, nothing is good enough. And unfortunately, it was something, when we go down into the inner child, it was because when they were children, for their parents, they never were good enough. So
Mhm.
now them as an adult, they act the same way with other people.
Yeah.
It's just because some parents, and I also like this for parents to see it, not just business people, because we as parents, we don't come with a manual. We're also learning, right?
Exactly.
And our parents, they gave us as much as they could. Now we're getting more information, especially because we have so much technology that we could connect more, and we are more aware of the world, and what's different resources for us. But we just have to learn to accept the people for what they are, and tell them, listen, oh, or maybe not tell them, share on social media. Believe it or not, some people you put a like, and some people will never put a like, and they know you, they watch you.
Yeah, yeah, it's also for me. It's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, but they're watching, and at least I say to myself, if I'm putting out there the little, the little in a
attention.
little, yeah, a little stone, or a little something that they will look at it. At least if they're curious, like when we were a child and they start being curious again, they're learning. When we're curious, and when we're, like you said, when we're open mind and open heart, and we are learning, because I believe too. I'm always in the learning mode. We don't know it all. And the more you learn, the more aware you are, and the more receptive you are, and the more creative. Because remember, when we were children, we're creating all the time. We're always inventing. So it gives you creating, gives you that safe space for expression, and that's what we need to go back to.
Absolutely, so beautiful. I am so inspired by our conversation. I'm sure that one day we can meet in real space, not just in 2D, but 3, 4D, and
Yeah.
hug. This is the most important. I'm a big hugger. I do believe also in interconnection and energetic level with all five senses. So this is so important. So thank you so much. Before we wrapping up our show, I'm always joking and inviting my vice president people like, wow, inviting one more person. I was never worried about this. And then I'm just actually basically pulling out this beauty.
I love it.
Yes, and she's very nice, beautiful, very helpful vice president, not chatting against me, though we need sometimes challenging perspectives in leadership. But we are aligned. She also with this core value to help as many people as possible. So my question for you, um, Claudia, today will be we cannot grant your wishes, unfortunately. We will try to help as many guests as possible. But one wish with the quality I can guarantee. So this wish from Claudia today for my vice Ginny, how does that sound?
That sound, my wish, oh my god, it sounds that if I could be with what I study, what I've been through, if I could be a guidance to other humans and other souls to better themselves and to be more happy, that would be for me a gift. I'm grateful. I said to myself, to God, I said, thank you, God, for being able to be a channel from you to be able to help more lives. So that's my mission, to help and serve, and to be able to create something beautiful for the people to evolve, to be better, just like the way I'm learning. And I believe when we are in a collective happiness and loving, with just sending love vibes, it helps so much, and we could bring so much joy to so many countries and so many people that are going through so many hard stuff, that we if the I believe the word love and compassion and and humbling and gratitude, when we have all this, we could change the world, how they feel, and the energy.
Absolutely. I love that so much. I'm joining every single word and even letter, and she's buzzing of the energy. She loves your wish. She is in already acting mode. So thank you so much for
I
giving
thank you.
your time, your knowledge, your beauty of your heart. I really can feel it on all levels, and we know we are much more than just physical body. We have so much, so I really can connect on all these frequencies with you. I do wish myself that I can meet you in real life, and we can
Me
really
too. Yes.
co-create more magic, impactful magic for other. We can be channeling through us this mission
Yes.
to make this world a little bit better by small, tiny steps, by self empowering, self evolving. Then we can be role models by our acting. I am. I'm so happy that I have met you, and I really
I
appreciate
thank you.
I do believe that all people who are in my show, there is never a coincidence. They are my small angels with these big messages from God. And
Thank you.
if we can change and inspire just even one life, it's already more than everything and enough in this life, right? And my beautiful audience, so maybe last thing you can repeat, please, Claudia, where people can reach out to you and get your beautiful, knowledgeable course. And of course, I will be posting all the information in on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. But if you want to make more special announcement, because you said it's a special course you're launching today and tomorrow, right? Where
Yes.
people can join you?
It's they could go into my Instagram, Claudia Patricia Eusse,
Mhm.
and the method is called Kaya, CAYA
Mhm.
coaching.com. They
Mhm.
could also access through there through the website.
Mhm.
And I hope that you give yourself the love and the opportunity to heal yourself, and to also create healing, more love and abundance, and help out your family and your community. So when I believe when everybody starts healing, we're able to be better for ourselves and our families.
Thank you so much. Through your
Thank
mission,
you.
your global impact, you really demonstrate how empathy, love, compassion becomes transformational powers when they align with empathy, discipline, and strategic. Thank you so much.